Welcome back to another episode of Realistic Fitness. As usual, I'm strength and conditioning coach Angelo Gingerelli, and this episode we're going to talk about dessert options. Mainly, I've gotten a ton of letters about desserts and different choices you can make if you want to end your meal with something sweet. And we're going to look at some ways that we can improve that and eat a little bit better after our main meal. So one of the first letters I got about this was a few weeks ago from a guy named Joel in Ortley Beach, New Jersey. And he wanted to know what I thought about all the yogurt places that have recently opened up in New Jersey where you fill up a cup of yogurt, pay by the ounce, and put as many toppings as you'd like on it. First of all, I became aware of these last summer. One opened up pretty close to my house, and when I went in for the first time, I didn't know what to expect, and this is pretty much how I acted.
And the Pirates of Seton Hall are headed for the NCAA Regionals, their first Big East championship since 2001.
Basically, I went in there, I went as crazy as you could go. I spent about $18 making a sundae, mixing way too many ingredients that I couldn't even finish. So generally what you want to do when you walk in a place like this is keep your head about you, eat a reasonable amount of yogurt, and control your portions. This is a reasonable portion of frozen yogurt. This is just ignorant. On top of that, think about what you put on top of that yogurt. Yogurt's a good base thing to start out with. Don't finish it off with Snickers, Butterfingers, gummy worms, and hot fudge. Be reasonable, use fresh fruit, use nuts, maybe a little bit of light whipped cream's not that bad, but be smart about it. As far as a business opportunity, I think a yogurt buffet, this is the time to do it. I recently put some thought in if I open one, what I would name it. They all seem to have the word yo in the title, making it kind of urban, and I would kind of do the same thing. Some ideas I've been throwing around in my head are, while selecting toppings, please use the ladles and not yo hands. Another idea I've had is not Yo Mama's Froyo. It's got 2 Yo's, so it's twice as urban, presumably twice as cool. And then my personal favorite is Yo MTV Wraps, and it would be wraps with a W, not just an R, because you would serve wraps on one side of the restaurant, chicken Caesar, Tex-Mex, whatever you would like, and then yogurt buffet on the other side. And it would be an homage to my favorite TV show of all time, Yo MTV Wraps. Another popular way to do dessert in the last decade is these companies that mass market so-called healthy options. So you have Skinny Cow, you have Snackwells, they do cookies, they do ice cream. Skinny Cow does ice cream sandwiches. One thing you want to look out for on this is you might want to go with a regular ice cream less times per week as opposed to eating a Skinny Cow or a Snackwells ice cream sandwich every day of the week. The main reason is ice cream by nature is a fairly natural product. It's frozen cream in its most natural form. It's not that bad for you compared to some other things out there. If you look at the ingredients list of some of these so-called healthy options, they're huge. There's 50, 60, 70 ingredients. So what they did is they took the natural fat and sugar out of ice cream and pumped it full of preservatives and unnatural synthetic ingredients. So you really want to think about whether you want to put this many ingredients into your body on a regular basis. So generally from a discipline level, I think your idea should be I want to eat less ice cream sandwiches and not more ice cream sandwiches that are slightly better for me. Next one we're going to talk about is desserts like frozen bananas. This, I think, is what we do a lot in this country is we take a pretty good product, a banana, and then we cover it in chocolate. We see it with candy apples, we see it with french fries, we see it with fried zucchini. We take something good for us and go out of our way to make it bad for us. One positive thing about this is, well, first of all, if you watch Arrested Development, you know there's always money in the banana stand. But as a dessert, if you're starting with something that's pretty good for you, like a banana, and then you put a little bit of chocolate on it, it's not as bad if you start with something that's already bad for you and keep adding to that. So if your choice is between a frozen banana with some chocolate versus a deep fried piece of cheesecake with hot fudge and ice cream and whipped cream on top, definitely go with the frozen banana. So that's going to do it for this episode of Realistic Fitness. Keep in mind, there are some slightly healthier dessert options out there, and there's a couple you just can't go wrong with. Greek yogurt's a great option with some fruit in it. Coffee or tea, very low in calories. If you go decaf, definitely the way to go. And when I say coffee and tea, I mean regular coffee and tea, not much sugar, not much milk, not what they serve at Starbucks, which is basically a milkshake in a cup. Generally, if you're drinking a hot beverage when you're done with it, it should be a pretty empty cup. There shouldn't be whipped cream left over after your morning or afternoon coffee. That's going to wrap it up for this episode of Realistic Fitness. I'm Angelo Gingerelli. It's been brought to you by Adidas, and we'll see you next time.